obviously celebrate success, and to celebrate success for, these 12 athletes that, have come a long way in a lot of years. This wasn't always the case for Finlandia women's basketball, and now that we're here, it's important that we have a big support system, and that starts with our fans and our family and our friends. So I want to start by thanking a few people for tonight's celebration. First and foremost, thank you, Grace, our women's soccer coach. She bought the cake, and she's always hyping up our women's basketball team. It really does mean a lot to us. I want to thank Mike Bond for helping set up, and he's also putting this up. We all love Mike Bond. And I also want to thank Curtis Whitberg, our athletic director. I want to thank him for showing up to the ACA conference tournament and cheering us on. It really does mean a lot to see a leader such as yourself in the crowd supporting our female athletes. It was huge for us to see that and to be celebrated by you, so thank you for that. I don't think you guys realize that an athletic director such as Curtis is actually not supposed to be doing all the jobs that he does. You don't find athletic directors sitting behind a scores table. You don't find athletic directors setting up stuff on the fields, in the courts, running around with his head cut off. You just don't see that. I've been a part of a lot of different universities, and Curtis is by far one of the best at making sure things run smoothly, and he steps outside of what he's supposed to do and does it for the betterment of the team. So thank you, Curtis.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with some small introductions so you guys can meet if you don't already know them. But we'll start with our freshman class. Martina Jaffetson, stand up. Martina is a backup point guard. She came in and gave us big minutes when we needed her to. She had a big moment this year against UW Superior and helped guard their best player, providing us with some great minutes. I'm looking forward to Marty's career. She comes from Baraga, Michigan, so right down the road, and I know she's probably itching to know what's happening with Baraga because they play tonight in one of the regional games, so I'm happy Marty can be here with us. So. All right, our next freshman, Cassandra Reinanen. To get to college, all the way from Houghton, Michigan. A player that can play multiple positions. She provided us with some big minutes throughout the entire season, even though sometimes I wanted to shake her. My whole thing this year was, why, Cassie, why? And I never really got the answer for any of those questions, but Cassie's a great person and a great teammate. We're really happy that she's a part of our program. Our sophomore class, and the sophomore class is pretty interesting because we came in with a ton of freshmen last year. That's partially why I keep cutting my hair shorter and shorter because of all the freshmen, and then for them to come in and not give up on what my vision was for this team and to come back and be a large sophomore class such as this, it really shows a testament to their character of not giving up and buying into what I've been saying. So we'll start out with Katie Lolo Loman. You gotta stand up. Lolo, you gotta stand up. Yep, you gotta stand up. All right, Lolo, she's our defender, our toughness, our gritty, our girl that's just gonna do anything to get a win. Whether that's literally tackling someone, whether that's having to guard a 6-foot post player or having to guard the quickest guard out there. Even though there's some times where I literally put a chart on her this year and points, I said, you have to score this amount of points because the girl just will not score. And I had to put a little thing on her to make sure she did attempt to score. But Lolo knows her role, she plays her role great. And again, not someone that's going to blow up your stat sheet, but she's going to do all the things off of the floor, and that's Lolo. Lolo's from Bishop A Dong. Cassie, no, she's Ding. Cassie's Dong and Mariah's Ding. Ding and Dong, those are the combinations. When I say Ding and Dong, you're in. Both of those two go in, because you never know what's going to happen. So Ding and Dong go in. Could be amazing, it could be Ding and Dong out. You're not ready. But Mariah is truly special. She's one of those players that when she steps out on the floor, you don't know if you're going to, you could get 20 points out of her in a span of 10, 15 minutes. And Mariah, I think, has taken some big steps this year in the right direction. We thought she was injured halfway through the season. Literally thought she tore her ACL and came back. It's just a bone bruise, everyone. She's fine. I think there was someone watching over her to heal her, and obviously to our athletic trainers did a great job with her, and she came back and was a big part of our success. Victoria Nagy. Toria literally identifies what it is to be a Finlandia Lion. She had to take a little bit different role this year of maybe not playing in every single game, but Toria played her role perfectly. She would cheer. If you guys came to any games, you heard Toria over me probably 90% of the games. And if you watch any of our film, you heard Toria over the film because she was screaming that loud. The girl does everything in her power to cheer on her teammates and be the best teammate that there is. And when she got in the game, everyone better be ready because she is a feisty little dog out there, and she's a scrapper. And literally, when she's not around us, the team is completely different. Without her, we'd be a different team. So that's Toria. Hardy Harley. Harley has been a starter since her freshman year. She comes and Toria is from the Sioux, and Harley is from Houghton, Michigan, Kewanee Bay area, but played at Houghton High School. Harley has been a starter for us and played a role for me that's a little bit different than she's used to. Last year she played a ton of minutes and we were really relying on her to score a ton of points. This year with some new people brought in, Harley's role changed a lot. She still was our X factor, I truly believe that. She had to get defensive stops and guard girls that were bigger than her and guard girls that were a lot faster than her, because we know Harley is she's working on her speed. So Josh, that's your task. But a great player and comes up with great plays, and that is Harley. All right, Katie Lundeen. Our only Wisconsinite, which is pretty sad, except for me, Katie Lundeen, we're Wisconsinites. Katie comes from Maple, Wisconsin, which is basically by Superior. Katie has started for us the last 2 years. She is only 200, 300 points away from breaking 1,000 points. And Katie has put up humongous numbers her freshman year, but I think this year it was a completely different Katie. Last year she had to battle through getting hit and getting sick and whatever. This year she was getting quadruple, triple teamed because people had to scout on her obviously, but she was able to put up numbers like 37 points one game, 39, 30 points. She's really a special player for us and does the job. So that's Katie. Katie was freshman of the year last year, and she also was first team all-conference this year. All right, Carson Osterman. Carson is also from Baraboo, Michigan, and I know she's kind of upset that she wasn't able to attend the Baraboo game tonight because Carson last year, Carson transferred from UW Stout. And then she decided to take a year off and help out the Baraboo girls basketball team last year. And so they made a huge run last year and they're back at it. And I know Carson is a coach at heart and I know she wants to be there. So I know that this is a big deal for her, obviously, to be here celebrating with us, but we're all cheering on the Baraga Vikings. So Carson I've known actually probably the longest out of everybody. I've known her since she was a 7th grader. You guys won't believe this, but I walked in and I just moved to Baraga, don't know anybody, and they're like, hey, do you want to go to a football game? And I'm like, sure, it's a middle school football game. Walking onto the floor, I see this ponytail and this helmet, and I'm like, who is that girl, and how do I get to know her? That is the coolest thing ever. And she takes off her helmet, she's got these weird bangs, and she's like, hey, my name's Carson. And I watched her play, and one of the toughest players I think that I've ever seen on the floor. Carson, you know, coming back and taking a year off and coming back and playing, I think was a little bit hard for her, but once she got going and she, you know, trusted the process, it really was success for her, and I'm really happy she came on the team. All right, our junior class, Bailey Froberg. Bailey is from Mons, Michigan. She is a, what do you call that, Gogebic? She's the legend at Gogebic Community College. Literally the first practice we had, Bailey's like, I'm the legend at Gogebic. And I'm like, you are? Well, get ready, girl, this is Division 3. Bailey is a great person, a great prolific scorer. She helped us in a lot of games and actually had our winning. So we've had to play St. Scholastica 3 times this year. Don't know how we got wrapped up in that. 3 times. And the final game, you guys know the old thing, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. We went down to Scholastica, had to play them for the 3rd time, and we were down by 2 points, and there was 4 seconds left. I drew up this play. Bailey hadn't hit the broadside of the barn all day long, and I was just like, why did I drew up this play for Bailey? And she was supposed to hit a 3. And we got out of the tunnel, or got out of the timeout, and I was like, why did I just call that play? Like, Bailey is struggling a little bit shooting. Well, the legend lived on, and she hit the game-winning 3, and we beat Scholastica 3 times this year, so that was all right, our senior class! All right, we'll start out with Maya Glenn. Maya comes from Las Vegas. Her and Katie are our only 2 that are not from the UP. But Maya I would call, you know, the blue line of the group. She is the mom of the group. She's hurdling her little cubs in. She's making sure that everyone stays on task. People go to her for things. And honestly, I went to her for things. Maya is a great person through and through, another great teammate, one of those people that I hear on the bench. You know, I even hear like play calls sometimes or things that she's seeing on the floor. And again, she played a role so well this year and came back. She played for me last year, but quit the year before and then believed in the system and believed in us as the coaching staff and came back, and she has busted her butt every second that she is on the floor, so that's mine. Taylor Pertilly. Michigan, so again, she traveled some distance to get here. Taylor Pertilly has played all 4 years here at Finlandia and has had up and down roles. Last year, I know that we used her a ton. We had to. Taylor there was times in the game where there always is times in the game where I literally forget Taylor is out there, and she gets, we call it airplane defense, so when you're so tired, you start going like this. That's kind of what happens with Taylor, because I forget she's out there and she just keeps bending forward and forward and forward. So when she's like this, I'm like, oh, it's time to get Taylor out of there. She's tired. But no, Taylor is a great defender for us and a great three-point shooter. Three-point shooting ability is incredible, and someone that we will desperately miss next year, along with Maya as well. So that's Taylor. Is the Bulldogs on Molly also plays soccer as well, and a dual sport athlete that literally will do anything for anybody, run through any wall for anyone. And I've told this group this in our last game that I've probably coached Molly the hardest. I've probably yelled at Molly the most, and when I say yelled, that means just encouraging in a loud voice. And Molly took everything and she would correct it, or she took everything and she accomplished it. You know, the girl doesn't make very many mistakes ever off the court. On the court, you know, it was always, yes, coach, okay, I'll do that. Coming in and talking to me, and being that kind of coach on the court as well. I always say we're a really weird team without Molly. She's like the Oprah Winfrey of our team. Things are just weird without her. And I threatened when she went to go play soccer. I said, "Do you guys want me to hold Molly's picture up so you're okay? And you guys will survive the Michigan Tech game." And I think we did all right. But we do love our Molly, and again, we'll be missed. Our team manager, Ellie. Ellie, stand up. All right, Ellie helped us out. She's Coach Brandy's daughter. She helped us out, came to some practices, filled up our waters on the bench, supported us, and before every game she'd come up to me and already have all the teams scouted up. Is number 23 the best player? Because I can tell by her shoes, and I can tell by the way she shoots. And I'm just like, yeah, you're right, she is the best player. And you know, we would talk about film and stuff in practice, and we talk about players on the court. She goes, "Is that number 24? Because I remember you're talking about." And I was like, "Ellie, you are going to be a coach someday." It's so funny because I was you. So thank you, Ellie, for all that you did, and we appreciate it. All right, my assistant coaches, Coach Brandy, she's a former alumni, so she's also a very successful Chassell coach. A couple of years ago, she coached the Chassell girls basketball team to a state championship game, and a great friend of mine. You know, a person that obviously has truly believed in defense, and she told me at the beginning of me asking her to come and coach, I said, I think it's important that there's alumni on our staff. I think it's important to keep alumni around our program so people can see where the program was and where it is right now. And I think Brandy brought a great philosophy for us in the defensive philosophy, and brought that kind of, you know, back when I was here, this is how it was. You guys are doing something, you know, this way, and I think it was important for our girls to always hear that and understand that it wasn't always like this, and she came from a culture that shifted from Suomi to Finlandia, and so it's important that Brandy is here now in the Rise. So, thanks. My other assistant, Coach Al, you guys don't know this, but Coach Al is actually the SID at Northern Michigan University, so he's Mike Bond, but at Northern. So Coach Al drives 2 hours to and from practice every single day, and to games. And he just had a baby, and he literally has put everything into these girls, and has committed it to himself in a way of I don't pay him a lot of money to be the assistant coach, and that just shows you the love and passion that he has for the game of basketball and for making this place better. He was a former head coach out east, and he's also been with me for the last 2 years, and he also coaches on one of my AAU teams. He's a head coach on one of my AAU teams. A great person, a great friend, and thank you for everything else. I'm going to give you a quick, brief rundown of the season, and then we're going to hear from our captains, and we're going to hear from Coach Brandy, and then I'll just wrap it up, okay? So stay with me. You guys need to do a stretch or anything. You good? Yeah, you can stand up and stretch. It's fine. All right. So the year started off from November to January. We were actually 6-11. Played teams like Hope twice. Don't ever do that again. North Park, and lots of other very talented top 25 teams. And we were 6-11, big wins against St. Scholastica, Viterbo, University of Wisconsin River Falls, and then ending the first part of our season to Division II Lake Superior State. We only lost by 8 points. So that was, I feel like, a turning point for us when we lost that game by 8 points to a Division II team that, you know, we were a couple plays away from actually beating that team at their place. I think that was a turn. I think they started to believe in themselves. They started to see like, hey, if we pour in our philosophies, this thing could happen. And they believed in it. So coming into January, we wrote on our board, we're never going to lose at home. Never going to lose at home. We're going to protect this place. We had great fans that came out, great parents that came out. We're never going to let them down and lose at home. So we wrote that on the board. And then one of the girls said, why don't we just win out the rest of the way? So we had 6 home games, but we had 8 games left. And I said, if you guys can set your goals to it, you never do something you say that you can't do. So if you say you're going to do something, you do it. So they said, Coach, we're going to put 8 games on the board. So we put them all on the board, and after every win, we crossed them off, we celebrated, we moved to the next game. At the final game, we crossed off that 8th win. And it was a huge testament to these girls to say you're going to do something and do it. So it was home winning streaks. We broke that record. We broke that record with 12, and we broke another school record with overall 11 wins in a row. And we have the most wins since 2004, 2005, and the first winning season in 5 years. And that's a complete testament to these girls buying in and not giving up. So going into the ACA tournament, we had to play Pine Manor, in which they have a Division I transfer. She's about 6 foot, exactly built like I am. She can do it all. We had to lock her down, and they're an up and down team. You don't really know how East Coast teams play. We had some of our men's basketball players come in and be our scout team, and that was great for us because it showed us the athleticism that we needed to go against them. The girls locked her down. She was frustrated, the whole team was frustrated, and we knew that if we could, every year going into this tournament, we always lost the first game. So our goal was, we gotta get to that championship game. And the girls said, we're gonna say it, we're gonna do it. So we beat Pine Manor, we got to the championship